Hello, everyone. Glad to see you back here at Silver Tears Tarot, and a warm welcome to those of you who are joining us for the first time. Today's reading is going to be for our people who are in separation. And that can be any kind of separation. So it could be a situation where it's no contact. Could be, like I've said before, we've had conversations between me and some of the people that, some of the viewers that, you're in separation, but you can see them sitting across the room. There's just no connection that is being allowed to happen there. Could be somebody who's stonewalling you. But we're here to look for messages that are going to help you navigate the situation a little bit more easily. So, as you guys know, it's a general reading. It's for all signs and it's timeless. So, it'll show up for you at the right time for you to get the messages, and it's going to be a collective reading, so it will not resonate with everybody. But if it does resonate with you, please hit the subscribe button, hit like, so that you can stick with me, and I can know a little bit more about what it is that you guys want to see going forward. And if it really resonates, check out a few of the recent ones to see if maybe some of those messages feel right for you too, because there are a lot of patterns that have emerged in this collective. So we're going to get started. We're looking at the messages that want to come out for our folks who are in separation. And we're going to start by getting the current energy between the two of you. That happened really fast. All right. But it's legitimate. All right, we'll take it. So I'm taking the top cards off of both of the ones that fell. A lot of times I will just take the top card, but in this case there were two cards that wanted to come out. So we've got the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. All right. The Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. So the Four of Pentacles, and as you can see here, telling whether it's in reverse is kind of a funny thing with some of these cards. So with this one, you actually can, but with some of them, it's a little bit different. And so I just go by what the feeling is coming off of the cards. Four of Pentacles has to do with a situation of release or not being able to release, and a feeling of hanging on. There is definitely a feeling of hanging on, but a desire to make some release. And so there's a little bit extra going on with this card. Now, this Seven of Cups, it's about the options that are available to the two of you, but it's also about some clarity about what you really want as you're looking through those options. So there's a feeling of not wanting to let something go and knowing what you want, but there's an edge to it. Okay, so we'll see a little bit more when we clarify. Oh, and by the way, I am reading for you with the Tarot del Toro, and then I'm going to clarify with the Chrysalis Tarot here in a little bit. So again, though, we've got this feeling in your current energy like it's hard to let go. There's something that one or both of you does not want to let go of. But there are feelings about being able to release it. So maybe a desire to release it, a realization that there is something that's hard to let go of, possibly. And then here with the Seven of Cups, there's that feeling of some level of certainty and understanding what it is that you're seeking. So out of all of those options, there may have been some confusion before, but now there is not so much. So that's the current energy between the two of you. We'll have to build on that, and we'll start by building on it and getting the energetic backdrop. So this is kind of that overarching energy that's happening across your union right now. It's like the energetic weather. And again, we've got two cards that want to come out. That's not usually the way that it works. So we've got the Six of Swords and then the Hermit in reverse. The Six of Swords, it's got kind of the feeling of an upright Six of Swords. It's definitely, again, it's the concept of moving through a difficult emotional place to get to a calmer and less tumultuous emotional place, but it's not a complete journey. So it's the progression. Things are getting smoother, but they're not really smooth yet. And then the Hermit in reverse, there is this sense that both of you have really been given an opportunity to do some thinking, and you've taken that opportunity. You've looked into what's happened in the past with the two of you. You've gone into what I like to call your thinking cave, hermit mode. you go into your thinking cave, and then, this is after you've come out. There are some solutions that have started to present themselves, but there are a few that are still kind of hiding in there for you. So it's a feeling of uncovering some things, uncovering some new truths that you maybe hadn't, it wasn't necessarily things you didn't know. It was things that you hadn't thought about in quite that way, along with this calming of the energy. And these two things are working together. So the calming of the energy sort of enables the feeling that you're able to listen to some of the wisdom that you pulled out of the cave, so that's a process in and of itself. And that's kind of what's happening here in the background for both of you. In addition, having that feeling about not being able to release something, or just thinking about the connection, and knowing what it is with a little bit more clarity that you actually want. So let's see how your person is feeling about you. It's been interestingly elusive as I've looked at it so far. We've looked at the energy it's very evident that your person is thinking about you a lot and doing some, oh, there's the top card. Definitely doing some thinking. Oh, they're having a difficult time with the way things ended between the two of you. So there is definitely that when they think about you, they think about that ending and the way that things went. And it is not really a comfortable place for them to be, but it's something that, it's like they have to work through it. It's definitely something that they have to work through. I sometimes say that pain has to be felt out of the body. This is the sort of situation where pain is being felt out of the body. You may be experiencing some of it too. And based on the connection that I'm feeling between the two of you, it may be a little bit that your emotions are sort of impacting one another a little bit as well. So that's kind of what's going on and how they're feeling about you, and we'll get a little bit more clarity on that when I get the next deck out. I can't wait to hear what comes out of that. So first, though, let's find out what it is that they want in this situation. So what would they want to have happen? What would your person want to have in this situation? Because these are people with whom this is a person with whom you are in separation. And again, we have two cards that come out. One is the Ace of Blades in reverse, and the other is the Nine in reverse, the Nine of Blades in reverse. So this is, it's about not looking forward at the truth. So what they want from you in this situation is it's kind of a combination of things that seem like they're a little bit at odds. So with them not wanting to let go, there's something that they don't want to let go of that's a concept or a feeling. And this Ace of Blades is the truth sort of being obscured in order to maintain this sense, this feeling over here. But this is a Nine of Swords that tells me it's not that simple. Okay. And well, I guess it's the Nine of Blades, but it tells me it's not that simple. There's been a lot of anxiety in this experience for your person, and particularly as they think about it, with regard to this truth that they're having a hard time internalizing, or something that as they accept this truth would make it so that they would have to let go of something. They would have to release it. So it's like they're kind of intentionally, I won't say hiding it from themselves, because I don't get the sense that they're truly hiding it so much as choosing to look away from it, choosing not to look at it. So what they would really like is to have comfort in that area. This is a serious burr in their saddle. It is a thorn in their paw. They can't stop thinking about it, but they don't want to. They've kind of glimpsed the truth a little bit, which we saw here in that energy where they're trying to incorporate what they've learned. They're trying to assimilate it into their worldview, but it's really painful. And it means that there would be a bit of a departure from some things that they want to hold on to. It's very much attached to you. And as they're thinking about it, they just kind of want peace, and they're able to maintain a little bit of, it's almost like it's not peaceful. It's more like homeostasis. It's just them keeping things at the same level, but they're doing so by obscuring the truth and kind of refusing to look at it. So it's a difficult place for them to be. Like I said, this anxiety really plays into it. And part of the anxiety is, the lessons that they need to learn, that it's just kind of uncertainty in themselves. But a big part of it is on a conscious level that they know there's kind of a push and pull between the two of you, and they are having like the worst time trying to figure out how to stop the pain. So there's definitely some pain that's happening there, but they're having a hard time really working through that. So, what I want to look into next is kind of the hidden energies and what you can't see from where you're standing. So, not necessarily, it's the same way that I typically like to ask this question. It's not necessarily something that is completely outside of your view so much as something that you can't see from where you're standing. So it may not be really buried. It's more just that you can't see it from where you're standing. So we're just taking that top card. We have the six of, and I'm calling it pentacles. I think it is actually wheels in this deck. But I won't know unless it shows up because I can't remember. But we have basically what it is. It's about the equal distribution of energy. Okay, so the equal distribution of energy, give and take. It's about being able to give and receive love. And this is a very significant lesson that needs to be learned here on both sides. So it's not just a hidden energy that it's hard for you to see from where you're standing. It's also a hidden energy that's hard to see from where they're standing. So it's a little bit different. It's when you give and receive love, it's supposed to be equal, like you're breathing. You breathe in, you breathe out. And if you breathe in or out more than the other, then there's this sense of imbalance. You either have too much or not enough air in your lungs. And that's something that you're generally going to keep pretty steady. Love is the same way. And the energy that's coming towards you and the energy that you're putting out ultimately need to be in balance. And so both of you are working on that a little bit. I get the feeling that your person has a very difficult time both giving and receiving love. For you, I get that you give it well. I don't necessarily get that you receive it well. But I'm feeling a little bit like a warning when I say that, because I feel like many of you have worked on this so much that you are a million times better at receiving than maybe you were at some point in the past. But the message here is that there's still something to be learned. There's still something that you might get from the lessons that you're learning with regard to this relationship as far as receiving. And one of those things is about incorporating your self-worth into the picture so that you're not giving too much to somebody because you feel like that's kind of the way the dynamic needs to be. So there are a lot of things here that I'm really looking forward to clarifying here. But first, we're going to take a look to see what is coming your direction, the energy that you're moving towards. So if the energy that you're in right now is this, things are getting a little bit calmer, they're not all the way there, and you're sort of figuring out how to integrate and assimilate the lessons that you guys have both picked up. As you're moving into the new energy, let's see what that new energy is. All right. Well, a decision. Crossroads energy. There's a decision to be made. It's not a simple one. I definitely get the feeling that it's going to be all of your energy, like your thinking energy, going into what do you do here. This will be fairly all encompassing as far as the way that it feels for you. But that's the energy that you're moving into. So it's a matter of the dust clearing and then things getting to a place where you say, all right, now you have to pick something. Now you have to kind of pick a direction. It has a lot to do with the current energy that's happening between the two of you, where there's a little bit more clarity between the two of you about what you want, what options are before you. But there's this sense of not wanting to let go. And with your person, this idea that they're kind of hiding behind something that's an untruth, and it's causing them a lot of anxiety, or not necessarily hiding from something. It's like they're hiding from the whole thing and from the truths that they've been discovering. They're not ready to face those yet. And then, like I said, in this hidden energy, both of you are trying to figure out that how to give and receive love in a way that that actually works for both of you, and that you don't end up, if you use like the breathing metaphor, with too much or too little air in your lungs. So we're going to start clarifying, and we'll start up here with that current energy between the two of you. Um, it's a really unstable energy, and when I say unstable, it's not like you guys are behaving in a way that is unstable, just that it can't stay the way that it is. So the first thing that comes out is the Green Man in reverse. That's the equivalent of the Emperor, and it is in reverse. It's telling us that there's a lot of effort to maintain control. That's what's coming off of that card, which we also see down here when we look at what it is that your person wants. And then we also have the Marat, the Justice card, that has come out in reverse. And so this one lets us know that there's, like, we know there's an attempt to make control, or to control what's happening in the situation, particularly because there's more clarity now on what to do with some of these options. But with the Marat card, one of the things that's happening is an acknowledgement that things are not as they should be. Something isn't balanced that should be balanced. And as we see down here, there's an obscuring of the truth. This person is hiding the truth from themselves every chance they get, because they don't want to let go of an ideal or of a concept, and it is getting in the way of them being able to give and receive love. So this is all, it's like it's very tight, them holding on very tightly to the things that they need to hold on to in order to maintain this illusion that they've created for themselves. That's, I guess, how I want to say that. So that's a pretty intense feeling, and it's one of those things that, like I said, it can't stay that way. So it's got that sense of being unstable, something that kind of has to change. Let's take a look then at this energetic backdrop. So what we know about it so far is you guys have gone into your individual thinking caves. You've gone into your hermit modes. You've gone off to find some of that wisdom that's in there for you. Things are getting a little bit calmer, so the dust is starting to clear, so you're actually able to do that. That sounds like a great thing, but part of what's coming out of that for them is this realization that, hey, I'm leading myself down a path that even I can't unsee, and I also can't really support. So that's a tough reckoning for them. I almost expect the Judgment card to come out. But let's take a look here at what does come out for the Six of Blades and the Hermit in reverse. So, all right. The first thing we have is the Sun has popped out in reverse. And the Sun in reverse, and then we've got the Queen of Mirrors in the upright. And the Queen of Mirrors is like the Queen of Cups. It's that water energy, that very emotional sort of energy. But this Queen of Cups, or Queen of Mirrors, is a special one. So you guys, if you've been watching this channel lately, I recently brought this deck out and have started using it a little bit more frequently. And when the Queen of Mirrors comes out, it's a little bit different than your traditional Queen of Cups, because she does have all of this unconditional love. That is one of the traits of the Queen of Cups that definitely comes through in this card. However, when I pick up this card and when I feel it, I often feel that she doesn't talk about it. Like, she's not willing to let that information come out. So that's relevant to what some of this learning that's been happening here coming out of the cave. So there's something that has been left unsaid, and it is significant. It's about love. It's about, it's part of the reason that this balance isn't being stricken here, or struck between the two of you, or hasn't been. It's this love. And I feel like it's probably more that they have been unable to say what they're feeling. But that inability to express it. So not that the love isn't there, just that they're unable to say it, and like they lose their opportunity. And actually, that's what this card means. So the Sun in reverse, one of the meanings for it is a missed opportunity. And that is how this energy comes across. So things are becoming a little bit clearer. We see it becoming clearer here. We see the dust clearing here. But we also get this feeling that there's this missed opportunity that's looming because somebody couldn't say something about the way they felt. And so we see this difficult ending that is had missed opportunity coming off of it, kind of, especially here a minute ago, but just in general, it's a rough feeling. We've got the Four of Scrolls, which is like the Four of Swords. So one of the reasons that this was so jarring for them is that this Four of Scrolls is, you see how this person is sleeping. The Four of Swords, or Scrolls, or that air energy, is about healing, resting. It's a transformational energy, but it's like you need that time of rest to transform in order to create the chrysalis needed to allow for that transformation to take place. And so you were providing some of that to your person. And so this is a shock to their system because they're no longer experiencing that healing feeling from you. But that is one of the things that really sticks out in that energy, is how much they felt like they were healing from old pain with you. And here we have again that Six of Scrolls. So the Six of Scrolls is that same energy as what we have here with the Six of Blades. It's the air energy. It's like the Six of Swords, and it's essentially that coming out of a tumultuous time into something that is a little bit calmer. So you were making them feel this. And my goodness, if this didn't just come up in a recent reading, I think it was, oh, what pile was it? Okay, so in the reading that I just did, pile 3 had this exact same energy in it. And it was in not just pile 3, like the YouTube reading, but also in the extended reading. It showed up, and I want to say it wasn't these same decks, but I want to say it was even the same cards. A lot of Four of Swords energy, a lot of Six of Swords energy, a lot of that. You bring them out of that tumultuous space. And so in both cases, though, it's a bit of a shock to the system because it's temporary. It's just because of how wonderful you make them feel. But then they kind of get plunged back into it, and it's a bit harsh. And they get plunged back into it because this is not really them healing. This is you lifting them up and making them feel lifted up, which is a beautiful thing and actually allows them some space to heal. So it relieves a little bit of the pressure so that they are able to move forward. Because like with that dust clearing here with that Six of Blades, the Six of Scrolls is that same sort of thing. And so as you were providing that, almost that service to that person, the Six of Scrolls was allowing them to feel like they had the space to do a little bit of healing. And so that's a really valuable thing. But again, when they return to the state where they realized this is not all fun and games. It's not all rainbows and unicorns. It's still very difficult. That Six of Scrolls, Four of Scrolls feeling starts to kind of melt away, and they realize they still have quite a bit of healing that they need to do, and they're not quite in those calmer waters yet. It's still fairly tumultuous. So it's a tough place to be, but they recognize that you really made them feel a lot calmer. So let's look then at this piece that they're hoping for. This was what they want from the situation, what they want out of all this. And it's like they're hiding the truth from themselves, or they're hiding from the truth. There's a lot of anxiety that lives around this. But they just want peace from that anxiety and from the difficulties that happen there. So we're going to clarify that. And I understand they want peace. And a lot of you that are in separation, that's what drove the separation. That's what drove the silence. They are coming to you, or they're leaving because they're looking for anything they can find to make some of this pain go away that they're now able to feel. So we've got the Five of Spirals in reverse. Yeah, that Five of Spirals energy is really just not wanting to have a big challenge or a big struggle. So the Five of Spirals is that fire energy. It is challenge. It is coming at you. It is very much, I'm ready to just to come at you and we're going to get it on. It is a big challenge, challenging sort of energy. But in the reverse, it's not. It's I don't have a desire to come at you. I'm not interested in challenging you or struggling right now. I just want peace. And that is really just what comes out so strongly in this in these cards over here. We also have the Ten of Mirrors. Okay, so there's a little bit of them talking themselves into something here. One of the reasons that they're able to obscure this truth from themselves is because, and we've seen this energy in some of the readings as well, there's this feeling that it's kind of too good to be true and it couldn't really be the way that it's coming across right now. That seems unlikely. And so they're able to kind of gloss over but I did feel really great. I did feel really great. I did feel like I was making progress. Then they realized they hadn't made as much progress as maybe they'd hoped. And I think that's a mutual experience. Both of you discovered there were things that you thought you had healed more than have actually, like you thought you made more progress with the healing in certain areas maybe than you have. But this feeling here that you're able to, or that they're able to talk themselves into, it wasn't ever going to work. This was too good anyway, too good to be true. I must have been misinterpreting it. But back in their mind, they really do understand. I did feel that. I did feel that. It's not something that can be denied completely. They're aware, but they just want to give up. They just want peace. So moving into this hidden energy, and this is the part you can't see from where you're standing. Like I said, I feel like it's hidden energy from both of you, but it's a matter of not being able to get that equal give and take, equal love going. And it's because of an inability to do one or both sides of that. And it's supposed to be an equation like breathing. It's hard to do that with emotion and energy that goes back and forth. So the Ace of Stones, though, is about this being kind of at the beginning of the effort. You're at the beginning of the effort with regard to this. And the other thing that comes out is the Temperance card in reverse. So it just means it's not a lesson that has been fully learned. It's one where balance hasn't quite been struck. I did get the sense of being at the beginning of a lesson here, at the beginning of a road. I understand that the lessons around self-love are not going to be, you're not going to be at that 101 level. You are going to be a little bit farther along, but there is something new that's happening here with regard to this lesson, and both of you are going to feel that. You're going to be impacted by it. It's like I get this feeling both of you had better listen up because it's time for you to have some very new experiences, not necessarily bad. I wanted to say tumultuous, but I feel like that's the wrong word. Very new experiences that may feel a bit strange, may feel a bit tumultuous, may definitely feel a bit foreign. Like you aren't sure how to even manage this because it's not a feeling that you've had before. And it's going to throw you off balance. It's going to feel like you haven't quite earned this. Temperance is a balance that is like a hard won, hard earned sort of balance. It's been there, done that sort of balance. But here it's, hold on, we still have a lot to learn. And there's going to be a lack of balance, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's because this lesson hasn't fully been learned, which is acceptable. Because you're really both. That's one of the reasons that you're here in this place, in this relationship, is to start to learn how to navigate this. And some of these other difficult pieces are just sort of nudging you in the direction of this. So when we go into the extended, and I am going to put an extended on this one of the things I want to ask is about that. It's that bridge energy, right? So it's, what is it that you're going to have to learn that gets you from where you are to where you ultimately are going? And whether I ask that question about just you or whether I ask it about the combination of you and your soulmate has everything to do with kind of the cards that come out between here and then. However, this is significant. The fact that this lesson is kind of, it's ongoing, but you're hitting a new wrinkle. There's something new about what you're learning here. So next we're going to look at what's coming for you next together. You've got that crossroads energy. You're coming up to something. You're coming up to something, and especially with having been in this energy of things starting to calm down, but you're assimilating the information that you got from your thinking cave, starting to realize, hey, this is a missed opportunity. I'm starting to see this for what it was. There is love here that was not revealed, was not really talked about. So let's get a feel then for what's happening with this crossroads energy that you two are moving into. Because it's a difficult energy, but it's also important. It's a super important energy for the two of you to move into. Okay, there's our characteristic lesson. We've been seeing this. The Eight of Spirals is showing us energy that isn't moving very quickly. And so, what that gives us is that feeling of stagnation. And what you're experiencing is not necessarily stagnation when you get to this point, it is simply energy not pushing you along. So, there are a couple things that have to happen there. First, it's going to be your own impetus that helps to move you across this crossroads. Secondly, it's important to note that it may be important to kind of sit in the energy for a little while to understand better what's going on with it. And that's the lesson we've been getting is that, oh my gosh. The lesson that we've been getting here is around sitting in discomfort and kind of being able to live in that discomfort. And then lo and behold, the other card that comes out here for the energy that you're moving into is the same card as this one. It's that same sort of earth energy. So this is wheels, pentacles, coins, stones. This is the Six of Stones, very similar in energy, almost exactly the same. It represents the same card in the deck, but different energies come off of these cards, and this is still that sense of the equal give and take. But it is that it's the responsibility of it all. It's the realization that not there's something that isn't right. That Marat card, that Justice card in the reverse, knowing there's something here that isn't right about the way this has been playing out. So now there's a decision to make about how to move forward. For your person, are they going to continue obscuring the truth from themselves so that they don't have to struggle? Or are they going to go ahead and confront and move into this new lesson that is about the give and take of energy, even though it's going to feel a little bit imbalanced and like they're having to get comfortable with the concept of being uncomfortable? So that's the energy that you're headed into, which is that is energy that means business. It is a good place to go because it's going to help them understand, among other things. They came in, they felt a lot better with you, and then they felt worse all of a sudden because that kind of got yanked away as they made. It wasn't like you yanking it away either. It was them making realizations and saying, "I now realize I'm not feeling as comfortable. I've got a lot more anxiety. I'm having to obscure the truth from myself. This is too good to be true. I'm backing away from it and saving myself the trouble." Where they haven't learned the lesson about equal give and take. You were giving more on the emotional side, and they were unable to receive it or give back. They faked it for a while, and they're good at that. And that may be very frank. That's just the way that the energy kind of feels to me, and wanted to come out. So hopefully I'm not offending people with that, but it's kind of an intense feeling. So we're going to go into the extended from here. We're going to take a closer look at exactly what it is that is required. Like, what is this path? What's required to get across this bridge for this particular lesson here? We're also going to look a little bit more into this energy that's coming your way with the crossroads and kind of to learn a little bit more about it and what lessons are coming out. We know there's the give and take, but my question for them, for the cards about you, is what exactly does that lesson, is there anything else that you need to know about it? Are there other lessons that need to come out, other nuances that we want to see here? The other thing that I was hoping to get a little bit more information for you on was how they feel about you, because we get the sense of how you made them feel, which is very nice, very important. Also, how they feel like this Ten of Swords or this Ten of Blades is more that I feel the pain of that ending. I am reminded of that ending. They also remember how great they felt and how much they felt like they were healing from things. Things were getting calmer and better up to a point until they made themselves look, and now they feel uncomfortable and they're talking themselves in and out of things. So we'll understand a little bit more, hopefully, about how they're feeling about you. But before we jump into the extended, I wanted to grab a card for you from the Sorry, what was this one called? This was the Enchanted Map Oracle. I usually know the names of my deck. I could not remember this one for the name of my for the life of me. But I want to get one from the Enchanted Map Oracle. It's one of my favorites, and I always have the Oracle cards out, but I don't always use them. This time I want to though. I wanted to get you a little bit of advice to just go across the top. And I dropped one, but I dropped it face down. So let's see here. That was it for a while. You figure there's always a 50-50 shot for things falling face down or face up. And it seems like, as I said in some previous reading, the first 400 times I dropped them, they were all face down, and all of a sudden they were showing up face up in that reading. But what we've got here for your advice is about coming together. So this isn't just about the energy between you and your person. This is about you finding connection with all of your surroundings. So whether it's other living beings, it can be animals, it can be the nature and the energy of nature around you, but especially with those who can give you that give and take. So the concept that you're working on right now, one of the concepts that you're really working on is that feeling of give and take, that ability to give and receive love. And it takes practice. So you're going to have to come together with some people during the holiday season. May be a good time for you to be able to find gatherings or find situations where you can come together, or to invite people to come together. But that's going to be really valuable for you right now. So that's just something that it's not really surprising given what you're going to be working on and what this new path that you guys are headed down. But you probably can't really see it yet. Just look for those opportunities to connect with people. And that's kind of one of the big pieces of advice that wants to come out for you here. So I am going to move over into the extended. If this one resonated for you, again, please hit the subscribe button, hit like so I know that this one resonated with you and that this is the sort of topic that you would want to hear about, if that's the case. Hopefully I'll see you over in the extended, and if not, then I look forward to seeing you in the future in another video.